Blind Man Chronicles, and today I'm going to be going over actually some exercises. What exercises? I'm going to exercise your mind. Just kidding, man. We don't do that in this house. We exercise that body, baby. All right, so we're going to be doing abs because everybody loves to do abs. And I'm going to say probably 80 to 90% of the people do them wrong. And I don't want you to do those wrong, okay? So that's why I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how to do abs correctly. That way you don't need to waste your time in the gym or at your house or whatever it is that you do abs because you want to get the most out of it. So I'm going to go through probably 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 exercises for you. Very common ones. That way you get the picture, okay? So I just want you to get the picture. But some of the things that I feel like I can do best for you is because you might see something visually, like I tell you guys all the time. But when I try to explain things to you, I want you to understand it, like almost like you can close your eyes and understand exactly what I'm saying because I want you to feel it, all right? So I want you to understand it. Okay, we'll go through this. So the first thing that people do, so we'll just go really basic first. So you're just going to go right into a crunch. So we're getting down on the ground, we got the mat on the floor, you're going to be laying on your back with your knees bent at a 90-degree angle, your feet placed firmly on the floor. Your hands go behind your head, but you don't want to be like yanking on your head. The whole thing is you almost like want to put your fingers behind your earlobes. That way you really don't have anything to grab. Okay? So you don't have anything to grab, you want to keep your small of your back driven into the floor. How do you do that, right? So if you tilt your pelvic up, so almost like going into a glute raise, where you're just driving your hips up. You don't want the lower part of your back on the ground. You want to drive that last couple vertebrae up. So your pelvic tilt is up, hands are behind your head, and you're just rolling so you don't let that lower half of your body move. So lock it in place, keep it engaged, don't let it drop. So you want to keep your hands behind your earlobes, and you're just going to crunch up and down. Also keeping those elbows straight out to the side. A lot of times people want to drive those elbows in. You want to keep those elbows straight out to your side, and you want to just roll those shoulders up while keeping your hips up. And always, very, 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 very important is to purse your lips, which means kind of have your lips close together, which makes it harder to blow air out of them. And that's how you want to blow air out. So, because it helps also to engage your abs, also trying to physically drive the belly button in towards your spine. This goes with all exercises for your abs, okay? So hands behind the head, hips tucked up, lips are pursed, and you're blowing out as you come up. You see how fast I'm doing those? Not very fast at all, okay? So that is the point, okay? You want to make sure that you're concentrating on the exercise. It doesn't take 1,000 ab repetitions to get, a six-pack. It takes you doing them properly to get the idea of how to get that muscle engaged, and that's how you're going to do it. So that was number 1, which was just the basic crunch. So the same thing goes for, number 2 would be if you had your feet up. So this is another very common one. So you can cross your feet. The biggest thing is you don't want to literally be forcing it up with one leg. So you can either hold them together or cross them. Just don't use one leg more than the other. You always want to keep your feet and ankles above your knees. Okay, so this one, your feet are off the ground. Your feet are above your knees, crossed or side by side. Same thing. Where's my hips at? Hips are tilted up. Hands behind the head or earlobes. Don't yank on it. And just blowing out. This is like a double crunch. So you're rolling even deeper. Those hips towards your shoulders and knees towards your shoulders. as your shoulders come up towards your knees. Same thing, elbows stay out, so you're not hitting your elbows off your knees. You're just driving them towards one another. All right, let's go ab wheel next. I want to do ab wheel. I want to do a Bosu ball crunch for you, a stability ball crunch, okay? Just that way you get a good variety, but at least you're understanding it with different directions, okay? So with the ab wheel, it's the same thing. I typically tell people it's almost like, I call it the bad dog complex. So, when you spank your dog and it tucks his hips up under, same premise here, okay? So you want to make sure you're on your knees. Well, you don't have to be, but it makes it better to show you this and demonstrate it. You can do it for your feet too. But you want to keep your hips tucked up under. Another huge thing people do wrong with the ab wheel. Yes, this thing's been around for a bazillion years. My mom is like the queen of ab wheel. So she used to do like 1,000 of these things. Crazy, isn't it? So keeping the hips tucked under, you're going out with your arms, but guess what you're not doing? You're not pulling your arms back in to do the work. So it's not an arm exercise, right? You're doing this for abs. So keep it tucked up under, you're rolling out, but those arms stay out there, and you pull back, almost like doing a knee up. So if you're doing a hanging knee up, it's very similar to doing an ab wheel, except your hands are rested on the ab wheel. So going out, and pull back from those hips, driving those knees forward. So the ab wheel goes out, and you're blowing out when you're driving those knees and hips forward, and almost like you're pulling your body backwards. So all the strength comes from right up in this area, the lower ab region, pulling that all the way back up. All right? So not using your arms, keeping your hips tucked up underneath and pulling from that hip knees. All right? So we got the ab wheel, we got the regular double crunch. We did the crunches with this, which is your basic crunch with your feet on the ground. Now I'm going to show you a stability ball. This one, I want to say even a higher percent, like 99% of people do it wrong. Like even like great fitness people actually do this one improperly. I don't know why, but that's why you don't see them doing it too often. But it is a great exercise. This is super hard when done right. So if you see my legs, I'm like, the small of my back is on the ball, top half of my back is hanging off. Same thing, you're going to use your hands for head support, but not yanking on it. Okay? Hips are driven up. What people do wrong is they'll drop their hips, push with their legs, and come up into almost like a sit-up position. So you want to keep those hips up, knees bent 90 degrees, feet are flat on the ground, and you're just crunching up. Whew, I think my hips just dropped there, didn't they? Keeping those hips up. Just rolling those shoulders up. Try not to push. Don't push with your feet backward. Don't try to drive this through your quads and knees to push yourself backwards. You really want to focus on hips up, shoulders, and shoulders behind you off the ball, elbows going straight out, and just rolling those shoulders upward, okay? So tilt the pelvic up if you haven't gotten it through your mind yet, exactly what I'm saying. So it's a huge mistake. All right, so if I was my Bosu ball, where would I put it? You guys see it? No blind jokes. No blind jokes. No, I put it here. I'll make me trip over it. All right. Got it up here on the leg press. I thought I had it out. So same thing with the Bosu. All right, so same thing with the Bosu ball. Laying on the small of your back. Small of your back in the middle of the ball. Keeping your hips up. Tilt the hips. Tilt it. So you're not driving your hips up. You're just tilting them almost towards you. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Blowing out, crunching. Blowing out. Okay, so don't let them drop. You'll see people do that all the time. They'll let their hips drop down and they're doing 1,000 crunches and they're not getting anything out of it. So good for them. You know, you do it right. That's why you're watching this video, all right? So, hopefully you guys got some great nuggets out of this, because I want to make sure, you know, because it's like one of the top things searched out there is abs. Everybody wants ab workouts and 5-minute ab workouts and ab challenges and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, you can do the most basic things, and if you do them right, you will get massive benefits to it. Oh man, I was about to end this video, and I totally wanted to show you also the same thing on a decline bench. So a lot of people will use this decline bench, which is great. Okay. So same thing, feet go up and over. You're laying down, and to get that small of your back locked in on that, you know, platform, you want to make sure you roll the hips up. And it's easy to do a lot of stuff wrong. You know, just like right now, you just saw me right there. I rolled those elbows forward. It's not, and some of these things you gotta take with a grain of salt. Like, it's not wrong, right? It's just that you will get more benefit out of it by doing it the way I'm telling you how to do it. Keeping those elbows out, you know, keeping the hips tilted up, and really trying to focus on keeping that lower back driven into the ground, and then also exhaling through your pursed lips. And if you try it, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna pop in the comments, man, that was like life-changing things for my abs, okay? So I'm here just to kind of make sure you guys get all the benefits, especially if you're putting the work in for it, all right? Brent Casper here with BKPT, Brent Casper Personal Training. This is a blind man. This is a Fit Blind Man Chronicles. Hope you guys are loving these. Just trying to put this together for you so you can get an idea of exactly what I'm talking about when I tell you that, you know, I think really truly that my sixth sense is teaching people how to feel it and understand their body. That way they can get the most out of every single exercise that they do. All right? Make sure, if you haven't yet, subscribe. Mash the notification bell to be notified as the new content is dropped. And don't forget, man, show me some love, make me some likes, and share this stuff with other people that you feel will get benefits from it. And I will see you in my next episode.